It's time for crossover weekend, week number 10 of the high school football season. The Homer Center Wildcats getting set to host the Portage Mustangs Friday night at Memorial Field. And our preview is brought to you by S&T Bank. Watch your savings grow with S&T Bank's exclusive online CD offer. Do what many others have already done. Log on to stbank.com for more information. That's stbank.com. Coach Page, the main stage for crossover weekend might belong to the Berlin Mountaineers and Ligonier Valley Rams Saturday night in Ligonier for the Appalachian Bowl, but a pretty good undercard here at Memorial Field between two smaller Class A schools, the Mustangs and Wildcats, and kind of a rematch from last year's playoffs too.
Yes, it is. We got the upper hand last year, but they had put it to us a few years before that when we've played them, and we have a lot of respect for Portage's program, their coaching staff, and their kids. We liken them to be a lot like us. Our kids play very hard and play the game the right way.
Well, the Mustangs will come to town with a record of 8-1 like your ball club. You are currently number 2 in District 6. They are number 3. At the end of tonight, somebody's going to be number 2 and number 3. You're not going to change maybe the order. You want to stay at number 2 because that could pay dividends down the road. If your team has aspirations of getting back to Mansion Park for the District 6 championship, it would be great from your perspective to have a similar path like you had last year, have the playoffs go through Memorial Field, and that's what you can accomplish with a win tonight. So there is significance, isn't there?
There is. I mean, what was great last year, and we've accomplished that so far this year, is we have a bye week. We feel like it'll give us a chance to recharge. We will have a home game in the quarterfinal round. We just don't know who against yet. And we are working then, if we would be so fortunate to win that first playoff game that we play, that we would host a semifinal round again too. It's going to be very tough. I mean, the playoffs, we've been saying we're in the playoffs now for the last couple of weeks, and it comes to fruition Friday night.
Well, one of the key matchups, Coach, the two fullbacks in this football game, Jesse Lee, who comes off of back-to-back 100-yard games, and really he's only played about 4 quarters the past 2 games, and they have a bruising fullback themselves by the name of Zach Wiggins, who's rushed for about 1,300 yards. I know you had to contend with him last year along with Braden St. Clair. You're probably glad St. Clair's gone, although Tom Randazzo's doing a nice job at the wing. Talk about the matchup with the fullbacks.
Well, I think that headlines it. Wiggins is obviously a very good runner, and for his size, he's very nimble with his feet, just like our fullback is. I think the thing that separates them more this year, though, is they're a little more diverse with their running game. Their quarterback is a much better runner than they've had in the past with the young Price kid. So they have him, they do have Wiggins, and as you mentioned, they have Tom Randazzo, who's a very good athlete. And the Schaefer boy, the other slaughter wing, whatever they call him, is a speedster too. So we have to contend with being able to defend the whole field because they want to get the fullback up the middle, but obviously they can get people to the edge.
Finally, to top it all off, it's senior night at Memorial Field, and you have a special group of seniors that will walk onto the field for their last regular season home game, certainly not their last home game overall.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing for them. Even though this is senior night, they can take comfort in the fact that they do have another home game at minimum at this great place to play. So it won't be maybe quite as emotional because we'll be coming back, but regular season-wise and being honored with their parents and loved ones is always a special time.
And it should be a special night, crossover weekend. You like it, don't you?
It is. It's a great time. I think it's really benefited both of the small school conferences, and we've made it work.
We'll be on the air at 6:20 Friday night from Memorial Field on WCCS AM 1160, FM 101.1, and as always, streaming at WCCSradio.com. For Coach Page and our fine sponsor, S&T Bank, I'm Mark Bertig, previewing the Mustangs and Wildcats. We hope to see you Friday night.